wouldn't have to, is what I'm saying.
No, but I want them to know that whoever of us could be me and share with them. Go ahead, sir.
And good evening, everyone. Sorry to interrupt the productive conversations going on right now, but good to see everybody tonight. And my honor and privilege as Director of Schools to do the Employee of the Month, or now we call it Employee Spotlight, every month. So I would like to tonight do a surprise. I wasn't really wanting to do one, board members, but I heard some statistics this past week that said I think I need to do an Employee of the month, of the Spotlight. And so at this time, I'd like the man from behind the curtain to come out. Come on out, curtain man.
He's shaking his head no.
Yes, he can. Give the man from the curtain a round of, come on down, come on down. He's dressed up, see, his technology department. I heard a statistic, board members, I want you to hear. And I know y'all have gotten it, but the Employee of the Month before his department. But I had Teresa to get a nice frame that she donated of this one, and I want y'all to hang up in the technology department, because at the technology department, and I'll show it to you here, board members, you can see that beautiful frame. So thank you, Teresa, and Bonnie, I'm gonna see if you could take a picture here, if you would. Okay, I'll get my camera there. There it is. And Michael, let's take this picture first, and then we'll talk just a second. Okay? And Michael, won't you stand there for a minute, because board members, I want Michael to say something. He's very shy, but I want him to tell some statistics that they've done since school has been out. I want you to be aware of this. And others in the audience and those listening on our live stream, I want you to be aware of this, because these guys at the technology department have done tremendous, outstanding work since May the 27th. And so, Michael, just give a summary of what your crew has done. I know you don't want to brag, and I'm not saying that, but just give us a little summary of what your crew has done in the last month and a half.
We've prepared new schools to open. We've put a TV in every classroom across the county. So
Hear that?
that's over probably 60 TVs that have been installed in a little over a month and a half. So every TV in every classroom in the county has a TV. We've put new computers in, all new computers. All the old ones have been taken out. We have put 2 new camera servers in, one at the high school, one here at Cannon County Middle, Cannon County Elementary. We've put new security cameras in these facilities. We've put new fiber at the old gym and at the ballpark, cameras there, algos. What's an algo? It's just for paging. Algos for paging. We've got the...
Which ties into our speaker system.
Yeah, we've got the... There's one. We've got the bells working here now, so the bells are segregated. That was about a month project. We got all of the safety of the paging done. We've got a lot done. There's a lot more than that, but it would get really technical, and I don't want to get too technical.
Give him a hand and his crew. So, Michael, we thank you. His job's not over by a long shot. Dismantling computer labs at old schools, taking older systems offline, and just lots and lots and lots of stuff. So when I heard those stats, I just had to say I want to recognize the technology department for what they've done, because it helps every single employee and it helps every single student in our system of what these guys do. So give them another round of applause.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Mr. McMackins.
Here.
Mr. Mullins?
Here.
Ms. Gannon?
Here.
Ms. Thomas?
Here.
Chairman Duggan?
Here.
Madam Chairman, you have 5 ayes, or 5 present, excuse me, none absent. You do have a quorum.
Thank you. Number 1 on the agenda is to approve the agenda.
A motion we approve the agenda.
I'll second that. Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made and second, motion made by Ms. Duggan, or Ms. Gannon, seconded by Ms. Duggan to approve the revised agenda of the July 14, 2022 meeting of the Cannon County Board of Education. Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins?
Aye.
Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Thank you. Number 2 is the consent agenda. Mr. Curtis.
Okay, it's consent agenda, and I'll read that if I could, please, Madam Chairman. Approve the minutes of the June 9th, 2022 meeting of the board and the minutes of the June 28th, 2022 recess meeting of the board. B, update the 2022-2023 calendar. And that calendar, by the way, is just, we've added the parent-teacher conferences for the high school and also for Cannon County Middle and the 3 elementary schools. And then C, approve the following middle school coaches and assistants for 2022-2023 school year. Boys basketball, Pedro Lara, Spencer Rowland, Dustin Prater, Tyler Reed. Girls basketball, Hope Melton and Ronnie Arnold. Cheerleading, Chesney Whitty and Ashley Whitty Brown. Middle school football, Chris Andrews, Keeter Cook, Michael Sellers, Corey Davenport. Youth football, Shane Hollingsworth, Dustin Foner, John Crawford, Will Parker, M.B. King, and cross country, Mr. Brian Elrod. And there are no overnight or out-of-state trips at all, Madam Chairman.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I second that.
May I make a short comment?
Sure.
I think the word has got out, but we better follow up. Make sure these coaches, I hear a lot of them are dragging their feet on getting background tested and drug tested. So technically, they're not supposed to be even coaching around the kids till they get that. So might be prudent to put a fire on somebody out there if they haven't done it yet.
And all of those coaches have gotten the, I think, the drug test and the background checks
I wasn't
in
talking about this
process.
group. I was talking about
Just any others that are needing to coach.
still some floating out there.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins?
Aye.
Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Number 3 is update from Gregor Smee. That was workshop only. Number 4 was Adam Skelton from Safe Air UV. Would like to address the board about air quality in schools, workshop only.
Madam Chairman, he is not present tonight.
Thank you. Number 5 was safety report, workshop only. Number 6 was ESSER report, workshop only. Number 7 was financial report, Cannon County Finance Department, workshop only. Number 8 was facilities report, workshop only. Number 9, discussion action regarding contract buses and drivers. Mr. Curtis.
Madam Chairman, you have the contracts in front of you to approve the contract bus driver contract as presented. These have been looked over by our attorney, and also the contract bus drivers have agreed to this. I would ask that those be adopted. Ms. Black is here if you need any more questions about the transportation contracts.
I make a motion that we approve these contracts for the buses and drivers.
I second that.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Duggan, seconded by Ms. Thomas to approve contract bus driver contract as presented. Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins?
Aye.
Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Number 10, CCEA discussion, substitute restitution for teachers for their insurance. That's where Ms. Sism asked about us paying the 2% of the family plans for teachers and teachers' support staff. Correct, Mr. Curtis?
That is correct, and Ms. Josie is not here tonight. She is available via Zoom, but we're looking at that, and I think you've already discussed that as part of the budget. and making sure that that's enough to do that. And I think the first couple of months will be crucial, and just seeing how that works out. I'm looking, the logistics is not going to be a problem. We're going to be able to do that. So I would think this would be a good thing for us, and it gives our teachers who have been utilizing their planning periods for that. And you're only looking at, 1 period per day for that to be done. So no hogging or anything like that with it.
And then the insurance was us agreeing to pay 2% of family plans to help take some of that burden off them, correct? Okay.
How much did Douglas say that was?
Well, based on last year, he said it was about $19,000, but
It's
over
probably
half
left.
of those
Half of those
have
are
left,
left,
and
okay.
they're down to single plans. So give or take.
Madam Chairman, I would probably separate them into 10A and 10B in the motions for that. That way it's on the record that you have done both.
Okay. Well, on 10A is substitute restitution for teachers. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we move ahead with this.
I'll second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Thomas, seconded by Ms. Gannon, to do the substitute restitution for teachers, and that is Mr. McMackins,
Aye.
Mr. Mullins,
Aye.
Ms. Gannon,
Aye.
Ms. Thomas,
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays on 10A.
And 10B is they were asking for us to pay 2% of the family plan of insurance for the teachers and support staff. Do I have a motion?
I will make that motion as well, to proceed with that change.
I'll second that. Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Thomas, seconded by Chairman Duggan, to advance the insurance for family coverage for 2% for employees, certified and support staff. Mr. McMackins,
Aye.
Mr. Mullins,
Aye.
Ms. Gannon,
Aye.
Ms. Thomas,
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, on 10B, 5 ayes, no nays.
Number 11, Ms. Sism addressed the board on Tuesday night regarding the negotiations and changes to the CCEA MOU. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept.
A second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. McMacken, seconded by Ms. Gannon, to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Cannon County Education Association for the next 3 years as presented with editorial administrative edits. Mr. McMackins,
Aye.
Mr. Mullins,
Aye.
Ms. Gannon,
Aye.
Ms. Thomas,
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Number 12, Cannon County High School Principal Courtney Nichols addressed the board on Tuesday night regarding CCHS restroom renovations, and he provided us with the bids. Mr. Curtis.
Okay, if you look at that, Mr. Nichols is here tonight, and looking at those bids, you can see those in your packets. Mr. Nichols, your comments regarding the bathroom renovations and how much that we're asking for.
Each of the bathrooms were broken down. I guess the bathrooms were broken down. One of the bids was for $4,500 per bathroom. I think on the Miracle Method bid, they broke that down per bathroom also. So if you wanted to do all or some of the bathrooms. And that would just be just for the flooring. I think Miracle Method had a countertop involved with that. As last month, I'd asked for partition stalls, and I believe you got those quotes, and those were around $23,000 from my recollection.
So this for Miracle Method is the floors and counters, right?
There's only one countertop, and that would be in the girls' restroom, if I'm not mistaken on that.
Okay,
And that's in the lobby of the gym.
okay.
Which do you prefer?
I talked to a gentleman today about the LVP flooring, and I said, how long do you feel like that vinyl flooring would last? And he seemed to think longer than 15 years because it's really thick. It's, you know, it's probably a 1/4 inch thick or so. So he felt that that would last a long time. The sales rep for Miracle Method said that it was about a 10 to 15 year, provided that your custodians do not put harsh bleach on the floor. Said that you usually get 10 to 15 years out of it. As I talked with the gentleman today, he said, I'll tell you, your best bet would be tile. Obviously, I mean, we're sitting there looking at 40 years that this tile's been down. He said, but to go in and bust the tile out and to put new tile, because you'd have to self-level it and to do all that, you're looking at about $12,000 a bathroom just for the flooring. And he said, it's a lot of work and detail in that. And he had just mentioned that tile is stuck down so good. Like 40 years ago, they put down something that it stuck really well. So either method that we go, if we look at it, I talked to Miracle Method, they said that it would probably be 2 to 3 days on each bathroom. I think lead time on each one is going to be about the same. I think they would have to float the system if they go with the LVP flooring and just kind of skim that tile and kind of level it a little bit and then start sticking those tiles down.
Are they gonna be able to get that done before school starts?
No.
Okay.
So, but that's okay.
For basketball.
And so the thing is that I discussed with them is that if we did bathrooms like that, let's just say that we did all those bathrooms, the ones in the gym lobby, we just have to have that done by November.
Right.
Okay. The other bathrooms in the hallway, I could shut that set of bathrooms off for the amount of time for us to be able to get the new flooring painted, the new flooring and stalls put in. So we could do that on
Okay.
those bids did not include new sinks or toilets
Right.
in that. And
So you're asking for this one and then the partitions as well, correct?
correct.
Which was, yeah, you gave that to us
I think
last month.
I give that to you last month. Those quotes are, as all quotes are good for 30 days, so we're probably pushing that mark at this point. I don't see a huge increase in price.
So it looks like the total between them is about 65,000 to do all the bathrooms.
I would
That's-
think so.
yeah.
That would be new, once again, like I said, that's not new sinks or new toilets or
Right, that's
anything like that.
just
That's just-
partitions and floors and that one countertop. Okay.
So were we voting on one of the methods, or you already you picked out what you want? You haven't picked out what you want.
I didn't. And like I said, I'm going to be grateful for whichever method, whichever one we go with. I'm not going to be. I feel like you're kind of comparing the same thing with one another.
The only difference is Miracle Method had the countertop in it.
It's correct.
Okay.
And then we could look for another countertop or look for another type of ceiling type method. I'm not swaying one way or the other. I'm kind of nervous a little bit on the Miracle Method. I think once you commit to that, you're committed to that. That's what worries me. And then what happens if something goes wrong? This LVP flooring, you put that LVP down, it's a tile.
That's the one from Middle Tennessee Carpet?
Yes.
Okay.
If you go with that, then, if something does go wrong, you can peel that up. My fear on that is that what if it's supposed to be watertight, but what if moisture gets underneath it, loosens the tile up?
Is there a warranty on that one too?
I don't know if there's a warranty on that.
I'm sure there probably is, as much as it costs.
Like I said, I think you can nitpick each one,
Right.
and at the end of the day, I think whichever one we don't go with, that will be great.
Okay.
So,
Is
Curtis, do you
the
remember what-
flooring we've done so far, Mr. Curtis, flooring we've done so far, is that put down by the same method, the plank you've used, is that the same method?
Yeah, we've done two types. We don't, what we've done in the main hall is got cork on the bottom and it's not water soluble. However, what we've put down in schools has been the glue down type that glues down, very similar to the classroom. If you've been in the classroom at the central office, right beside the boardroom, that is glued down. And Mr. Nichols they put glue down throughout the office,
We have.
and I think the library too is currently
Of
being.
course, this is a same material, but just very thick. I mean, we're talking quarter inch versus that's in millimeters, probably 8 millimeter or something.
I just think aesthetically, the planks would look better. That spring, you want the other, Beth, the
No,
spring?
I'm sorry, I just.
I think aesthetically, I think the planks would look better.
It won't look like a plank. These are 24 by 24 inch tiles,
Well, okay, I mean tiles,
so.
but I would think most of their masket that they're using now probably is pretty waterproof.
I would think.
In this day and time, I can't imagine
Okay, so the other
enough water would
issue,
get under to raise it up, is what I'm saying.
once again, and I don't want
It
you
could
to think that
happen.
I'm wish-washy, but I'm just kind of, either one's gonna be fine, I think, with that. The one concern I have, if we go with the tile, is that you have the base shoe tile that's already down. If we chip that off, is that gonna create chunks of concrete coming out? And there may have to go back and reseal that level to put that 6-inch base shoe back. Once again, I'm not gonna, I don't wanna sit here and nitpick and take up a lot of time. I do feel like it's, whichever one you decide, I'm gonna be tickled to death with, and we'll go from there, so.
What was the name of the bid on the partitions? Does anybody remember? I don't have my paper with me. Do you remember the name of that company?
I can Google that.
I didn't bring my paper.
I didn't either. Oh, you have it right there.
Fast Partitions, quote 64299. I'm trying to look at the quote. Is that Decker Equipment? Is that the one, Mr.
I
Nichols?
believe so.
And then there's Partitions Plus. There was Decker Equipment, and Partition Plus is the name of the company, was both of those back in, when we discussed this previously.
And I believe that was 23,000, was that 22, almost 23,000,
And that
Mr.
was just
Curtis?
valid through the 3rd of July.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which company was it?
The $21,475 was Partition Plus.
I think that's the one I was
A
thinking.
quantity 29 toilet stalls and 0 urinal screens. First time I think I've said urinal in a.
So you said
board meeting.
21,000?
$21,475
Okay.
for the partitions.
Does that one have a expiration on the quote?
The quote was June 6, 2022 is the quote.
So it's been over 30
30
days.
days.
Let's see if your eyes are better than mine.
Surely it hadn't changed that much.
I would think if
Agreed.
anything, probably
The offer's good for 14 days from the date of this
Oh,
quote.
well, you wouldn't have even got to us in time.
So you'd have to go have that requoted, I'm sure,
Okay,
with partitions plus.
yes, sir.
So can we make a motion on this, even though that is out of date?
You can, and just see how close that is, and just say that's discretionary to do the stalls. We can work on that, as long as you give me the discretion to approve the partitions, and it's within plus or minus, what would you like to say, plus or minus 10%?
Sure.
And that's part of the partition plus,
Partition plus, and then he said this Middle Tennessee carpet one.
and I'm gonna put partition plus $21,475, plus or minus 10%. Is that okay with the motion?
Yes, sir. And how many bathrooms was it for these floors? Because Middle Tennessee carpet only has a quote for one.
No, that was per bathroom, so that
Yeah,
would be.
that's why I'm asking how many bathrooms was
So
it?
it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 bathrooms.
Oh, 8 bathrooms.
Can someone do a quote,
I am.
do a quickly on that?
$36,600.
36,000, that'll be over the threshold of $25,000.
But he had more bids. He had another bid here.
Okay, but it's still over the threshold of 25,000,
So
so,
you have to have it.
So you have to have
by
it
the
bid
finance
out.
Department.
sorry, but you will have to have it bid out.
Okay.
Unless you would like to do less restrooms or,
Could we split it up? And do part of the bathrooms now and part of them later?
You
I'm
could.
happy with that, if you want
I'm
to
just
do.
saying that way it wouldn't be over the 25,000. I don't know. Can that be done, Mr. Curtis?
It can be.
Gyms and cafeteria? Does that seem like a priority or?
Gyms
both
and
the
cafeteria.
possible-
Probably the priority ones would
So
be
how many
those.
bathrooms do you think?
That would be 4.
So someone to add up 45, 75 times 4?
Sorry. 18,300.
Okay, so that'll be 4 there, and you can turn right around and we'll do additional 4.
When these are done. Will that need to be voted on again?
Yes, the answer is yes.
So that can be on the August agenda.
August agenda.
August
Okay.
agenda, to have it immediately.
I'm happy with that.
We're just trying to make it as easy as we can.
I'm happy with that. I'm
So
happy with that.
the motion will be on to do those 4 bathrooms and the partitions for those 4 bathrooms, correct?
So your motion would be to approve the estimates from Partition Plus at $21,475 plus or minus 10%, and then the bid to do 4 restrooms from Middle Tennessee Carpet for $18,300.
And may I just ask real quickly, if we're ordering these partitions and that's under the $25,000 threshold, would you be able to just go in and order all those partitions at this time?
The $21,000 worth?
That's the bid,
Yeah,
right?
'cause
That's
that
the
was for
motion
all
right
of
now.
it.
That's the
That's-
motion
yeah.
right now.
That
Yes,
is
as
the
long as we
motion.
pass
We'll
it,
just
it
have
can
to
be done.
revisit the floors.
All that's done, and then.
Just have to revisit the floors in August.
The floors for the other bathrooms.
I'm with you.
We're trying to keep it, each one under 25,000,
I'm-
so we can get done. Do I have a motion for this?
I make a motion to approve this.
I'll second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Thomas, seconded by Mr. Mullins, with Cannon County High School bathroom renovations to approve those with Partition Plus for $21,475 plus or minus 10%, and then Middle Tennessee Carpet for flooring for $18,300 for 4 restrooms. Mr. McMackins?
So that's the vinyl, right? That's what we're talking
That
about?
would be the
Yes.
vinyl.
Okay.
Yes.
We might as well
24 by
shop
24
level if we're doing it.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins? Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays, and we'll table the other restrooms until August.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That took a lot of work. Number 13, discussion regarding metal detectors in Cannon County school systems. Ms. Bonnie has asked us to table that until the safety meeting.
True. I make a motion, we table that until the safety meeting, or until August, right? Yep.
Till August, after the safety meeting,
Yes,
correct?
yeah.
Okay. I'll second that. Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Gannon, seconded by Ms. Duggan to table the contingent upon the recommendation by the Safety Committee at the August 12th, I think is the meeting. I'll reserve the right to edit that, 2022 meeting of the Cannon County Board of Education. Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins?
Aye.
Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. Number 14, Mayor Roger Turney and the Auburn City Council addressed the board on Tuesday night about the Auburn gym. They're interested in acquiring the gym, whether we choose to give it to them, them pay for it. We discussed Tuesday night about the fact that it was on its own it was on the same septic as the school and the water. Does this need a motion of some sort?
I don't necessarily needing a motion, but you're saying to those that have approached the board that you're going to act upon something, then it would probably need a motion if you're acting upon something.
Okay.
But if you're making a comment or that, it would not be a motion. But if you are suggesting something or, asking the board to do something, then it would be a motion.
Okay, well, I would like to make a motion. When we put the school property up for sale, when we have it surveyed, that we have the gym surveyed separately with enough property around the gym that they could put a septic tank if needed. I'm not sure if I'm wording all that right, but I guess you can figure out how to write it down. In order for us to give Auburn Town City the gym. Which, that means it's gonna be 2 property surveys, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Can we
That'll be
discuss it a little bit?
months.
Yes,
A month's
discussion.
delayed.
Huh?
That'll be months that we're delayed if we do that. Probably 3 months to survey, 4 months to separate the septic out. No telling how much money.
Well, that school's never been surveyed,
That's true.
so before we can even sell it, it has to be surveyed.
All of them have to be surveyed.
Correct.
I can get with Mr. Applebaum too, because I know the property that the board and the county commission agreed on across the street from this building, that I think has already been surveyed, so it was fairly quick. So Mr. Applebaum may can try to help us get that surveyed quicker. I just needed me an estimate, and as long as it's not over $25,000, we don't have to bid it.
Is it possible just to deed that property to them if we chose to?
The Cannon County Board of Education, the Board of Education can transfer any property to other governmental entities.
Okay,
So you could transfer it directly to the city of Auburn. Would they be willing, if they're willing to accept it?
okay.
And I think since they approached you, they're willing to accept
Willing
it.
to accept it, yes, sir.
Mayor Attorney is here if we need.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Attorney, I appreciate you coming, and I want to say something, and this is, I'm saying it to you, but not so much about you. The last few months, people in your community has attacked this board with fury. They've called us everything in the book, character assassination, stuff that's on the edge of liability, to be sued liably for calling us idiots and stupid and everything else. And then you go and put it on a registry without even coming and asking us about it, because we do own the property. And I know you had the legal right to do that. Would have been a gesture to come to the board. Then they turned around and named the gym after you. That was supposed to be approved by the board. So I'll vote for giving you the gym when that comes down, if it's not or some other time, but I do it with not a whole lot of I'm on your side deal. And I know you're here and you're taking the blunt of that, but I'm not directing it to you directly, but you're the mayor of the town. And a lot of your citizens have got on the internet and blasted us. And if we'd had a little bit more coordination and cooperation from that community, I'd probably have a lot better attitude about giving you guys anything. Because if I had my way, I'd probably say you have to buy it. You can't come up with the money, toast. You're toasted. Too bad. But I'm willing to work with you guys. And I'm sure the board here is too. But with much trepidation, I would vote for yes to letting you have that gym. So just wanted to let you know that, and I'm sure your community is listening, and I'm sure tomorrow I'll hear about it on the internet. But I just wanted to say that I don't appreciate the way the community's dealt with this board. And they don't know our heart. They undoubtedly doesn't know our feelings. They think we don't care anything about kids. And all you guys have done is been selfish to worry about your school and your school only. And you've been absolutely subsidized by this county for probably the last 20 years. Taxpayers have kept your school open with 106 kids in it. We get laughed at it all the time when we tell people about that. So for the best of our students, we're doing what we're doing going forward. Number one, we're going to have to, because we can't maintain all of it. Our curriculum is scattered all over the county, runs people ragged trying to go to schools and get anything done. And so I just wanted to let you know how I feel about it. I don't know, I'm not speaking for this whole board. This is how I feel about it. That I don't appreciate what's happened in the past with you guys. Being passionate about something is one thing. Being civil about it is another. And they have not been civil for the most part. And they're speaking for your community. So if you guys want to let them continue to stir the fire and stir the pot, that's on you guys. But there's a couple people over there that I already talked to a lawyer to, and it's that close from going to court on character assassination. Because I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and I'm not the smartest person in this room. But I do have a passion for this system. And I didn't grow up here, so I don't have any little community ties. My kids went to school here. Every one of them went through West Side. So I've coached here. I've been part of this community. I've done the best I can. I'm a move-in. I'm still a move-in. That's what they called us when we first came here. Y'all were move-ins. But now I'm married in. So I got 18 grandkids, and I guess most of them, a lot of them, is going to probably stay here. And I want what's best for the whole system going forward. And this is part of the progress. And when keep blasting, if we don't have a plan, then you ain't got a clue. If we don't have a plan, then you don't have a clue. Because we do have a plan. And the plan's still working, it's evolving, and it's not in concrete. We never said it would be. We are going with the flow. We're changing and moving when we have to do that. And it's going to be the best for everybody in the long run. And 10 years from now, I'm going to predict this. 10 years from now, it'll be like it was in 1960s. When you had 50-something schools in this county, and they got shut down, and they raised the same cane they raised then, and now those same people who raised that cane are proud of what they had when that was over with, and now they're bent out of shape because it's going to happen, and 10 years from now, nobody will know the difference. They'll all be proud of what their 3 schools, what they are, and what they're going to accomplish. I'm going to tell you something. This system is going to accomplish something in the future. Because we're laying the groundwork to make all of our students better. And some of it's forced on us, because MTSU is not going to continue to send people out to teach except what their certification is. We get a teacher, and we throw them in our elementary schools, and they have to teach 3 subjects, and 2 of them they're not even certified in. So, I get this off my chest. Sorry I got off base here a little bit, but I want you to know how I feel about it, and I will vote tonight to let you guys, if that's what we do, to have that gym, but I ain't happy about it.
Mr. Curtis, could you please read that motion?
Yes, ma'am. When the property at Auburn is surveyed, the Auburntown gym area will be surveyed for possible transfer to the city of Auburntown. Did I get that motion close?
Yes, sir.
And again, all your properties that have been declared surplus will have to be surveyed, because every one of those, well, Short Mountain and Auburn, both are in need of modern surveying. When they were done in the 50s at Auburn, and then there was a clarification in the 1980s that on the Auburntown boundary too. So, but it does need modern surveying, yes, ma'am.
How much land are you willing to give them?
Well, I don't know. It's gonna have to be surveyed, and we're gonna give them enough to put a septic on if they have to.
What are they gonna do about parking if the person that buys it don't wanna?
I don't know. They asked for the gym. Mr. Attorney, do you guys have a plan? Like for what you're gonna use it for, if you're gonna need parking?
Well, not yet, because we had no idea, what we were interested in was trying to get control over the gym.
Okay,
Then there, see what we can do. Of course, the city realized the whole community is thousands of people. Our population that you're talking about is about a little less than 300.
Right.
We're not talking about, but there is obviously a great deal of sentiment
Yes.
that goes there. And it goes way back. That school has been there from high school back in the 20s. So people have very, very strong feelings, obviously, about that school. We went through it, and when the school burned, the high school burned, I mean, I can remember Thursday night, the school board told us, well, we can't help you, but you can open up money if you want to. And we opened up money. We had school after it burned on a Wednesday. So, I mean, that community is drastically involved. And when you get really involved in something, sometimes you let your emotions get carried away with it. That happens with everybody. And I think the community is behind it, and we do all we can to see that gym is kept and used to the betterment of the whole community. In fact, some of the best games that have ever been played in this county have been played in the Auburn School gym.
when do you have your next city council meeting?
We meet every first Tuesday.
So maybe at your next city council meeting, y'all can discuss if we give you the property, how much land you think you're gonna need to go with it, and then you can bring it back to the board in August?
We'll try to do that.
Give us a little bit better idea besides just the gym, because obviously we know you're gonna need more than just the gym.
Yes.
Okay, we'd appreciate that. But my motion was to give Auburntown City the gym. We just need a little more deep, well, I mean, they're always gonna need some property to, like I said, because they're aware they may have to do their own septic. I don't know how much land that takes. I don't know anything about that.
So I'll take out the word possible and put transfer.
Yes, I would like to transfer the gym, I guess the gym and whatever land is needed if they have to do septic.
Mr. Attorney, you know that property probably better than anybody. I said, you know that property probably better than anybody on the planet. The septic system there is on to the left, if you're looking at it.
The only thing that ties the gym to the whole septic system is one line that runs out down below what we call the old Head Start building.
Yes, sir.
It runs over to the line that runs down to the field lines and over the septic tank. A separate septic tank could be placed where the little playground is.
Right.
Where the Head Start, what we call the Head Start playground, could be placed in that area. I would be willing to bet what he would prefer in that area. And it could possibly be tied in. It's got field lines down in below the track that's big enough to support the whole town. It was done
Right.
years ago. It's a good system.
So,
The best I see, it's 3 acres. If you go down Cooper Street, say that's your boundary, because that's between the gym and the school, is Cooper Street, right? Hey, I didn't even know it had a name. Did you know it had a name? The street beside the school that runs up to the gym, that's Cooper Street according to the, is that right? Yeah. So you take Cooper Street down, it's 3 acres.
That field.
So that's the
The
gym, the
field
walking
and the
track,
gym.
all that.
But the septic for the school is in that field,
Yes.
correct?
Right. I'm just saying if you cut it off right now, that's where you're cutting off, is
Yeah,
you're talking
that's
about
what
3
I'm
acres.
saying.
What you could look at is, once you've got and once that you disconnect the sewer, and then you do your own sewer line outside and not even connect to the school sewer.
so
That's just an easement problem. That's just written
Right.
up in a deed.
Right.
if we if we decide to transfer the gym to Auburntown City, they have their meeting and decide how much land they would like to go with it. If that's more than what we can give after we talk to the realtor, maybe they could possibly buy some of that land to go with the gym. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
What's gonna hurt you here is the school septic is right next to the gym, so you're not gonna be able to there's gonna be very little land to give.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's what you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Attorney? Your septic and all your field lines is in the left, if you're looking at Auburn School, is in the left of the field, correct? Where the walking track and the basketball court
Left
is.
the gym all the way down,
Yes.
almost to the creek.
Yes, I mowed it for many, many years. I know where it all is. I'm not gonna be,
I'm gonna
you're
try
not
to
gonna be
go
able to
there
put a
too.
parking lot or anything on top of that. That's what I'm getting at. If that's the school septic system,
Right.
you cannot give that part of the land to them where the septic.
Correct. I know that because it goes
But we
with
gotta
the school.
find where all the field lines are.
Right.
If you just cut the gym off, it's a half acre.
Right, and I'm not,
Is that enough land for them to do a septic?
don't know. That's what
I don't
I'm
either.
at.
No, they
don't
won't be
know.
able to do a septic on it.
I think you really need drawings of where the field lines are. I'm sure that maybe in the central office somewhere. Or maybe you remember where they all went, Mr. Turney, when it was done.
We
but-
do have, I think, when that was redone, we do have the field lines, when the field lines were done. We do have, there used to be a portable, when we were redoing, there was a portable right there over the field lines, actually. And I think there may have been a bathroom that went directly into that septic system from that, in that portable, that was there. And then it goes down into, on that, but that's on that far side. I was trying to pull it
I
up
think we
here.
just need to have, when it's surveyed, ask if that will be a problem. Ask the surveyor and the realtor.
Okay, Mr. Attorney, right now, the bathrooms at the gym go to the field lines now, right?
Yes.
So there's nothing to change there.
No.
They can share the field
As long
lines.
as yeah.
And the other building will use the same field lines. They already got their water. problem is you'll have to run your meter, and you'll have to run your line, a separate meter, if you're gonna have water up there.
It's not unusual for fill lines to be on the neighbor's property.
No.
So my house itself, my neighbor could not get a perk, so his fill line is in my
Yeah.
backyard, which just happens all the time.
And that's just an easement agreement that goes into your deed.
And while we're-
I
I'm
don't-
thinking they may be enough down through here that would, because we own all the way to the creek, right?
On the other side of the walking trail.
Yeah, they could probably come off with here from where they're at and come into the field line that would supply that.
I've been told it can't be outdone because it's in the original deed.
I mean, I don't understand why you just can't just survey off the gym and just give them the gym. You don't have to give them, we don't have to give them,
But they'll have to have some, I mean, they're gonna have to have something around it.
well, I moved out and there's some parking on,
Yeah, that's
Like
why.
the
Yeah,
reg-
I'm looking, we're looking at it right here, on
From this
this.
side of the court over.
yeah.
I don't know if Michael could go on Google, if Michael could go into Google Maps and look at it through the satellite view. But if you look at that, and I'll try to push it back as far as I can, if you look at that, Mr. Attorney, I think there's probably enough to go from wherever that connects,
From the gym. to
from
the
where the Head Start classroom was, all the way down to the south to your property line. I think that would be enough. But now, I'm not a health guy with the health department that can tell you about sewer lines. I've changed them at my house, but I'm not the commercial deal there. And if you did that, you'd have to have an easement when the school is sold. You would have to have an easement that would get back
I
to
mean,
the
you saying
gym.
they need field
But-
lines?
But is
They
that,
need field lines?
is
Yeah,
that
if you put-
R.E.
if you
Davenport
put a septic
Avenue,
field.
R.E.
What
Davenport
I'm saying,
Avenue
they
is what
already
that's
got
called, I
septic.
think,
They
instead of
already got field
Cooper.
lines.
But if they're tied in,
They can share it. They said it's huge.
Right. But now, okay, that goes the curve. Okay, so that's basically may not be a road that goes over there. You'll have to have an easement right by the school to coming back to that
Pay them
area.
some money to get a
so
field.
can we ask our lawyer if that would even, or ask our lawyer to get with the realtor to see if it even has to have its own septic since it's already tied into ours, and if we gave them that gym?
And then they, whoever buys the school then enters into an agreement to allow that. I don't think that'd be a problem
That's
at
what I'm
all.
saying.
I mean,
think-
right now, we really don't have enough information to make this decision.
No.
No.
Like, we don't have enough information. And keep in mind, a few down our agenda here, we're talking about realtors, and that was a property that was bid out for a realtor, whether we do that or not. Like, we
Yeah.
need to find this out first, and then
Exactly.
kind of go. I mean, we just don't have enough information about it. I mean, it's my opinion that that gym adds value to that property, because for simple square footage at least, and I don't know, I think it's more important that the property sells higher so we can get a better bang for our buck. But, I mean, if the city of Auburn is willing to be cordial throughout this whole process, we'll see. But, I mean, I still don't think we have enough information to decide.
Mr.
this
Attorney,
route.
there looks like that there is an older, is that a driveway that's just north of the school that goes between the school and the house on the northern part of the campus?
Cooper Avenue.
If you'll bring it down just a little, Michael.
It's a street.
There's a road that comes down it nearly touches that. I guess that's on private property is what I'm seeing.
No, it's Cooper Avenue.
It goes back
No,
to
we're talking about this street right here
It goes
on the
back.
north side, not the south side of the building.
It goes back to a barn.
It goes back to a barn, I see that. That's a private drive is what that is then, right? And you could, okay.
Here, it's not even-
I just thinking there's another avenue just right by the gym
They
there.
still have a right
I
of way
think the
right
city
here.
of Auburn
Yeah.
needs to come up with a plan, like their parking plan,
It looks
stuff like that.
but-
We would hate to make a big decision with no plans.
But it looks, that
So,
looks
I
different
think
than
it would
that.
be good if we,
'Cause that
revisited
goes to
this
a
later.
road. That one up there does not. It goes to the trees.
But that's a private drive is what you're saying, Mr. Attorney? Okay, yeah, I can see that going down that barn. But, I mean, it nearly comes, just right, you could have an access right there.
See,
And
property views.
then come up off of R.E. Davenport then where the school, where that,
Old thing, property is. It shows that road going all the way through.
the Cooper Avenue shows it goes all the way through. Okay, that R.E. Davenport goes around by the front entrance of the school is what Mr. Attorney's saying. but it's further back. It's on County County Board property there.
Whatever's labeled RE Davenport there is not right.
Okay,
RE Davenport's over in the city, it's not even close to the school.
okay, gotcha. I'm saying it's on Google as R.E. Davenport.
It looks like at one time that road went all the way through, that Cooper on down, it's been let go, it's not going through now.
None of those roads ever went over.
I'm looking at data view and they're looking at something different, Google, so.
Yeah, we're just looking at Google Maps what this is, but, okay.
This survey on here, if this is correct, one corner of the gym's not even on the property, so it does need to be surveyed.
What I would like is a plan for parking and a plan for some sort of septic. I don't even know who
I
does
mean, even
that.
if it's an agreement.
Yeah, an agreement, like, because if we survey this property, like, are y'all gonna do the septic? Are we gonna do the septic? It's not telling how much that's gonna cost.
So should I
I mean,
change?
I just really want more information.
Do I need to change my motion that once we have everything, that my motion is,
Or you can just table your motion till August and then.
I won't be here in August.
And
so-
see what?
But
Mr. Attorney, how much
he said,
funds how much money can y'all put into this project?
Well, obviously, my city budget, total budget for operating the city, paying for everything, lights, streets, library, the whole bit, is about $80,000 a year. And that's the community center, the city park, everything we have to pay for. So obviously, with 250-something people in the city limits, we don't have an abundance of supplies, obviously.
okay.
Now, we will do what we have to try to keep it up and going. And I think the community will chip in and help a great deal with it.
I agree.
How much is the average septic cost right now for, this would probably be treated like a
It'll be a commercial type of
four-bedroom
deal.
house or something,
Yeah.
That'll be by commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
and then
it'll
it's
be
gonna
looking
by
at,
square footage.
Well, if we vote to give them the gym, then they can deal with the rest of that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
mean, they can handle a septic. We
Yeah.
just need to
Right.
find out how much they think they need.
if there needs to be an easement or whatever, an agreement, it's made by whoever buys, that this is the city of Auburn's and your septic is shared with that building.
Okay, I'm gonna change my motion.
Okay.
I wanna table this till August. I will not be here in August, but the board knows how I feel about that because of my previous motion. So let's table this to August until Mr. Attorney and the city of Auburntown can bring us back some more information about how much land they think they're gonna need, and then, of course, it's gonna need to be surveyed with the other property. So I'm making a motion to table it till August. That good with you, Mr. Attorney? That way you can bring us some more information. Okay?
Do the best you can.
Yes, sir. We're trying. Good things happen when we all work together.
In agreement with that statement especially, I will second this motion.
Motion made by Ms. Duggan, seconded by Ms. Thomas, to table this item until the August meeting of the County Board of Education. Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins? Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays, and what we'll do, we'll talk about that when we get down to the Realtor about surveying and how we're going to proceed with surveying.
Okay, and we'll make sure we include them in
And make sure
our
that's
process.
included in what's going on there, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
And you excuse me, I've got another meeting at the senior citizen right now, and I'm late for.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead. Thank you.
You ought to make it, you got a short distance.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
Number 15 is to discuss disposal of surplus Cannon County Board of Education properties located at 115 Ventries Avenue, Auburndale, and 5988 Short Mountain Road, Woodbury. I don't think, out of all those roads we just talked about, Ventries Avenue was not even mentioned.
Well, Van Treese Avenue is actually the address of Auburn School.
Right.
And that R.E. Davenport, I don't know, that's just where it's on mine. I don't know if it's on Wade's or not, but under this, it would be germane to this item if you want to talk about surveying, because it does deal with properties that were declared surplus at the last meeting of the board. So, or that may have been the May meeting of the board, so the June meeting. So if you want to direct me on surveying, I can get with Mr. Applebaum and check and see who surveyed those, and those properties are gonna have to be surveyed.
Right,
for
and they
you,
need
so.
to be surveyed before a realtor gets them,
Rapidly.
am I correct?
I feel like we've asked this before. Like, I feel like we've asked if they had to be surveyed before, and for some reason, I think we were told no, that they didn't, but I don't, because remember the Short Mountain trees?
Yes.
Right.
But I think.
It was something about
I
that.
truly think before anybody wants to purchase them, they want to know where the lines
Oh,
are.
yeah, yeah.
So I
No,
think
definitely.
it would be in our best interest to have it surveyed before we put it up for sale.
Yeah, the realtors are gonna know what they're selling.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
If they don't know what they're selling, they're blind.
Right.
So can the motion be to get this surveyed as soon as possible, both properties?
The motion would be germane, Madam Chairman, and said to obtain bids or obtain, let's say obtain estimates, because bid may not be over
Correct.
25,000, to obtain estimates
Yeah.
But are we
for
gonna wait till August?
for surveying
We can always call a special called meeting between now and then if we
Auburn,
get it back.
Auburn Elementary School.
Whoever surveyed that land over there did it fast, so. maybe
And I'll do the
we can
address
do
on
it
it,
again.
Van Treese Avenue, Auburn Town. And Short Mountain Elementary School.
We need to vote, I gotta go.
Is that the motion that I'm hearing from somebody? I think I
Yes,
heard that
me.
motion from somewhere, from Chairman Duggan. To go ahead and obtain estimates for surveying Auburn Elementary School and Short Mountain Elementary School. Is that your motion?
Yes.
And if we get estimates, are we gonna have to have a special call meeting to vote on that, or can they go ahead? and
If it's
decide
estimates, you can
on-
authorize me to go ahead and proceed to make those surveys to be done, if that's
Okay.
part of the motion.
That's the motion that I'm making.
Okay, and Director of Schools? To proceed with survey operation, how's that?
I'm gonna vote now.
Okay, is that the motion?
Yes.
Okay, motion made by Ms. Duggan, I need a second on that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Duggan, seconded by Mr. Mullins, to obtain estimates for surveying Auburn Elementary School and Short Mountain Elementary School with the Director of Schools to proceed with survey operation. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Get my pencil to work here. Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays, and I'll proceed on that first thing in the morning.
Thank you. And will you please make sure that we include Auburn Town City Council on, once we find out?
Once we find out anything, information, we'll be glad to share that with Mayor Turney.
Thank you. Number 16 is approved realtor bids for surplus properties. Discussion?
We discussed this on the workshop.
Right, what did we decide that we need a motion if we're going to do this, or?
I think we better wait on Wade. Wade was the one that suggested we
Okay.
reopen the bids, but
He suggested
Yeah.
to reopen the bids, to have it rebid.
we may want to wait a second.
How many come through?
2 bid. 2 bid, it was the same, like the same commission was 6%. Me not being a realtor thinks that the comp dates are a little a little outdated, but.
No, thank goodness.
Okay, we just read 16, approved realtor bids for surplus properties, and the other night you said you were not comfortable having just 2 realtors.
Yes,
Yeah, I agree.
need more.
So what kind of motion are y'all going to make?
Reopen, we have to reopen the bids, right?
Diane said we could do it for a week, the other night.
We can do it for a week.
And there was supposed to be some wording, right, changes,
Yeah, wording changes.
Wording
to add the
changes.
square footage.
which we haven't seen.
Right.
The bid to, here's what I've got, if I'm close or not. I said to rebid the realtor bids with specific specifications of property and building description. Is that close?
But can we do that without having it surveyed? Because they,
I mean, I think you
Well,
could
you
put
can,
the
yeah,
square.
you can do
Okay, the
square
specific
footage.
specifications of
Okay.
square footage. I've got that from a Gatsby report.
Okay, that's fine.
That's got the square footage of both buildings, and we can get the property description from the deed, or actually, you can get it from the property assessor's website.
Okay.
Just go and prove this is approximately, you know, every how many acres property that it is, and then have Mr. Applebaum look at that over and Ms. Hickman look at that over for the bid specification goes to the paper.
Okay, did you write his motion down?
I did. This, what I've got down is so far to rebid, this is a motion by Mr. McMackins, to rebid Realtor bids with specific specifications of property and building descriptions. Is that close, or am I?
That
Do
sound
I
right,
need to,
Mr. Markins?
do I need to change that, Mr.
That sounds
McMackins?
good.
Just need a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. McMackins, seconded by Ms. Gannon, to rebid the Realtor bids with specific specifications of property and building descriptions. Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins?
Aye.
Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. Number 17 is to approve the Veterans Memorial Gym roof replacement bids. I believe we only got one bid, correct, Mr. Curtis?
You did, you got one
Okay.
bid for.
I'm going to make a motion that we take what the insurance offered and repair the gym.
Or do we want to rebid? I don't know. That bid, it's scary.
Very scary.
I don't even want to look at it again.
Melanie,
so.
Melanie was sitting, she said, asked if I was sitting down, and I said, are you sitting down?
Did it damage any of the gym floor?
It did not damage any of the gym floor, Melanie,
But we need to get it fixed
I'm sorry.
soon.
I'm sorry, Facilities Supervisor Sism, did it damage anything?
Okay.
And what it did, it's peeled it back, and I think we can do, if we take the insurance settlement, I think what we can do, we can get Mike Ford, and we look up there and make sure that it is, or not just him, we can get anybody we want to. I just suggested him because he's been the consultant for a long
And all of
time.
our roofs are leaking.
Well,
I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, all right, if you look at that, thank you, Derek. If you look at that, it's just peeled that back, and I don't know how much damage is done around the eaves where there's no gutters. That's where I think that the wind on this side, and I'm looking at it right here, the wind on the west side hits it, and it just pushes that up constantly.
Yeah,
And
every
the
storm.
south wind, every southern
Every
wind.
storm.
And this is the southwest corners where you're seeing. And that's where that south wind continually bucks up and then pushes it up.
And the insurance money was like 79,000. and the-
$74,000.
And the bid was over $1 million.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Probably some of that bid, I mean, that doesn't justify the bid, but probably some of that bid is, number one, the
The curvature.
curvature, the way it's built, originally built, and the height
Yes,
was probably the two factors that ran that up.
because you're going to have more bigger lifts and all that stuff.
Maybe not everybody can do that type of roof. It may not be in their wheelhouse, but that's still ridiculous.
So if
But
we
the
just,
insurance was just for $79,000 just to replace.
To
that
repair,
part.
yeah, to
Repair.
repair this part. And
They
they went
wouldn't
back
go
and
with
looked
it
at it. Their auditor went up with their guy, and both of them looked at it, and then it was temporarily repaired, and then it blew back off again. So Escola came back, was paid by the insurance, and Escola came back, and they spent a long time up there, and then, I mean, riveting everything they could screw down onto
So
that.
insurance never even entertained replacing all of it? Like they did here?
They did, and then they said, give us $76,000, or $74,000, excuse me.
I mean, they weren't just talking about a
They
repair,
were-
they were talking about the whole roof.
Well, that's what they thought would be replacing that part
They're
that needs to be
tired
Not the
replaced.
whole roof, I'm talking about, nobody's even entertaining replacing the whole roof like they did over here. They had no problem doing that.
That's
They
right,
had problems doing it. We just had to really,
yes.
yeah, I mean, we had to fight through this.
I mean, I'm not saying, yeah, but nevertheless, they replaced this roof. I don't understand just
Yeah, I
putting a
mean,
patch
I think
on
they're
it.
saying this is an older building
and
and
it's not being used.
not being
Yeah.
used, it's like, we'll give
Yeah.
you this much to fix it. But we could go back, you can go back and say, okay, this is what you're giving us. My deal is, I don't think it's gonna cost, and now again, I don't know materials, but you're looking at, Derek, what do you think, two sections
I
of,
ain't a roofer.
Yeah.
if you're looking at probably two things of metal across there, may not
It's gonna
match.
be what's underneath that's bad.
That's exactly what I'm concerned about. 50 years of, or whatever it is, 1949 to now.
Things you ain't gonna know till you get in there.
Right, so should we just repair it until we're ready to?
Yeah, I make a motion that we use the 79,000 to repair it.
I'll second that.
Use the 79,000 to get quotes.
Or 74,000.
Sorry, 74,000.
Okay, the insurance settlement.
Yeah,
And let's just say to utilize insurance settlement.
To repair the roof.
yeah, I'm sure we'll have to get quotes on that, so it'll be back to us.
And give Derek a say-so on who we get to
I
help
don't
fix
care.
it.
but
Right, Derek
as long as
loves
it ain't
roofs.
Porter Roofing, I don't care.
No, I'm talking the consultant.
Well, he ain't on my good side either, so.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Okay, motion to utilize insurance payment to repair roof of Veterans Memorial Gym. Use my shorthand. Mr. Ray Atkins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins. Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Number 18, Coach Ashley Patrick addressed the board Tuesday night concerning doing upgrades.
Madam Chairman, if I can, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have got a revised agenda, added number 18, approved bids for Cannon County Elementary / Cannon County Middle School HVAC units on the revised agenda. You're probably looking at the older agenda.
Oh, do I have the old one? No.
Yep, you do, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, let me go find the new one.
Classroom and rooftops.
Thought I was on
Ms.
one.
Sisson would like to address the board.
Did we approve that?
I don't know. I'm going to-
We approved the revised one that was last sent to you.
I don't have that on my.
It's what we approved. Teresa?
I thought I was on the right one.
So did I. I've been using that same one the whole time.
Yeah, this is one, I don't have it on here.
I don't-
but
we don't
that's
have
fine.
that, Mr.
I
Curtis.
remember adding it at
It
the
was
workshop, but I just didn't have it in front of me.
Teresa,
Yeah.
do we have the new
She-
one that you sent?
She's got a copy right here. So number 18 is approved bids for Cannon County Elementary School, Cannon County Middle School HVAC units, classroom and rooftops. Go ahead,
Okay.
Ms. Melanie.
Actually, that was bid out last week, and we had the two bids, which was CHC and MRG was our two bids. I think you have a copy of both of those bids as well. MRG is definitely the one that quoted the lower bid on that. So at this time, I'm asking you guys to take in consideration and, let's approve this and get some air going, which Lord only knows we got air tonight. But I have 22 classrooms that's got to have some air, and we have 6 rooftop units completely down. So you're running on one unit in here tonight, and they actually turned it down for us because we had no air all day, and they were trying to catch it back up is why it's so cold. So I really want you guys to look at those bids. I've really looked at them and studied them. I think both of the guys are on that you met the other night. They're supposed to be on Zoom. If y'all have any questions about controls, that was my only concern with this, is we are looped with, trained pretty good with the controls, and we are at their mercy on that. Now, their units is supposedly gonna tie into our units, but I have really been working a lot today just to make sure that's gonna happen, so.
And you weren't there Tuesday, so we,
No, I know. Is Braden on there? What's his name? Braden.
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, Braden, I got a question on your controls. Are we gonna be able to tie into that with the train, with the line connection?
Yes, sir. So, as I talked with Melanie earlier, and she said that the water source heat pumps they speak LAN, to control them. So our units, whenever we select them, we can select those with a LAN controller, or what you call a BAGnet controller, which you're probably familiar with as well. And they'll speak both of those languages and communicate with the train system.
So we'll still tie into the train tracer system on the turnkey proposal.
Yes, sir.
And then one other thing while I got you on recording. The 5-year warranty, parts and labor, that includes if compressor, fan motors, anything goes out, your labor is warranty for 5 years.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
I've looked at it, guys. I mean, this is a real good quote. I looked at it yesterday and I nitpicked it, and I called Braden too and asked him a few other questions. But
do you want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion. We approve the MRG bid to go ahead and get these ordered.
I'll second it.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. Mullins, seconded by Ms. Thomas to approve the MRG bid. Melanie, you have the exact amount on that that y'all looking at? Somebody give me the exact amount on that.
About 300,
I think it's 397.
right at 400,000.
If you can give me that, we have that exact bid.
He's got it up there. I don't have the paper with me.
Okay.
I was going back to Diane's, and I thought I had it, but I did not have it.
$397, $636.
397, 336, is that right?
636.
636, thanks, sir. To approve the MRG bid for $397,636 for Cannon County Elementary School / Cannon County Middle School HVAC systems.
We had a
And
motion.
I'm going to put per specification, is that all right?
Okay,
Derek?
yes, sir.
And that is included with the add-ons. The two bottoms are add-ons.
Okay.
Just make sure I don't know if you need to word the,
Well, what I'll do is I'll get that
whole-
and I'll put that with the motion, so you've got that. I'll say as presented and doing that, I'll attach that to this motion. Okay, you have a motion and second?
Yes, sir.
Motion by Mr. Mullins, seconded by Ms. Thomas, to approve MRG bid for $397,636 for Cannon County Elementary School, Cannon County Middle School HVAC system for specification as presented. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. I guess this will be number 19 then.
That's correct. If you
Coach
got-
Ashley Patrick addressed the board Tuesday night concerning upgrades to the locker room and funds for the new lockers. Mr. Curtis, what was that total again
If you look
for
at
the lockers in the floor?
Okay, let me look at the bid that Ashley has. Ashley's here, so it was $13,000, I think, for one,
It was 12.5 for the locker
and
set.
$13,500 for the other. Is that correct, Ashley?
No, it was 12.5 for the lockers and 7,300 and something for the floor.
Did you send that to us? I think you did.
Yeah, $7,398.30 for the flooring.
Yes, sir.
And then the other was, the lower estimate was $13,000, is that correct?
No, there should have been a Chris Underwood that was 12.5.
I say no.
He did the 12.5 for the lockers.
The other
same as
one,
the
yeah,
boards.
the other one was $13,500 that I had, old stain from another one.
There
Oh, and I
should-
see the other one, I see it now, it wasn't hardly as fancy as
Because
the
Chris
other
is
ones
doing
was.
the boys' locker room.
Yep, 12,500
So
then.
what's the total between the lockers and the floor? Do you remember?
The lockers and the floor, 12,500 for the lockers, and then the flooring was 7,398.30 cents.
Tell me that one again. 7,000.
$7,398.30.
So 19,898.
That is correct.
Okay.
I'm at 898, that's correct.
Do we have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second. Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. McMacken, seconded by Ms. Duggan, to approve the Cannon County High School girls' locker room renovation for $19,898.30. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Mr. Curtis, you'll give her guidance on what to do next.
I will.
Okay.
We will be glad to
Thank
assist
you.
her
Thank you.
in getting that done. Mr. Nicholas is here also, so he can assist also.
So number 20 is Jeremy Gooden would like to address the board concerning structural improvements that need to be addressed to our football and other sports facilities. I believe he asked for that to be tabled till August.
That request was withdrawn, and we will address the Cannon County Board of Education at a later date, so
Okay.
not even tabled. So
Perfect.
you're-
21, Cannon County Elementary School, Emily Hancock, never mind, that one's been done too. Would like to address the board replacing carpet in the front office and several plugs, and our
That is-
maintenance department handled that.
That is correct. Maintenance Department handled that, and not necessary.
Okay.
No action needed, Madam Chairman.
22, Jaron Tenpenny would like to address the board to approve the 22-23 school year coaches supplements and approve Cannon County High School athletics live streaming policy. Mr. Tenpenny?
Late last night, I emailed you all an updated supplement proposal based on the addition of the 4th and 5th grade league. In speaking with those three principals, they had requested a reduction in that supplement that had been $750 per coach to $500 per coach for the girls and boys basketball, and then $300 for the cheerleading coaches. So with that kind of lessened where the original proposal had divided up that excess from the former elementary supplements. And so unless you have any other questions or feel that these should be divided somehow differently, then this is the supplement proposal that we are making for this school year.
I have a question, and
Sure.
it's only because I don't really know. Mr. Burks does tennis and golf, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a girls' tennis team and a boys' tennis team?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
And we have a girls' golf team and a boys' golf team?
Yes, ma'am, we have. He just had tryouts this week, so I'm not sure how many girls have. I do know we have at least one girl on the on the golf team, I'm sorry, but yes, we filled both.
And cross country has a girls' team and a boys' team?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my question is, I'm gonna use soccer for instance. Bradley Vickers is coaching girls soccer and boys soccer.
Yes,
And he gets
ma'am.
a supplement per team.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is that one separated and golf and tennis aren't?
So
I'm just
this
asking.
is really probably more so because this is how these supplements have been for 100,000 years since the first board approved to pay supplements. So at that time, when that was started, there was no girls tennis team and there was no girls golf team. When soccer was started, it was started as a boys team only, and then the girls team added, and they had separate head coaches. They were not coached by the same person. So would be my understanding as to why there were two separate supplements there. And that's been the case that we've had separate boys and girls soccer coaches up until the last couple of years, that the same person has done that. If the board wishes to pay separate supplements there, obviously it's your money to divide out as you see best fit. If that's what you so choose to do, I can go back and rework that, however.
I was just looking at it last night and I thought, well, every sport besides cross country, tennis, and golf are split up between a boys and a girls. And I didn't know why that was.
Right,
I thought, well,
right.
maybe
And
we don't
typically that's
have a
been
girls'
because we've had separate coaches for those, whereas Mr. Burks has filled a dual role of coach for both boys and girls in tennis and golf.
And the reason I brought soccer up is because Bradley Vickers coaches both.
Right, well,
So-
that, we were supposed to have another coach for the girls, and that has just changed in the last couple of days, and so Bradley is stepping in to fill both of those roles.
Why is there such a jump on soccer? Because I know Coach, do they help take care of the football field, or?
They do, yeah, and in the spring, they have to, because football is really not in, they're doing workouts and they're in the weight room more so in the spring. Then soccer picks up the complete maintenance of the field as far as mowing is concerned.
Well, he said a new one last time.
And I'm going to be quite honest with you, Mr. Mullins, as I was reworking this, and I'd added back in those basketball supplements that the elementary principals had requested, and then pretty much everything else I'd left the same from the original, but there was $100 left.
Well, he was looking at the one you had yesterday
Oh,
about
yes, yes,
soccer
yes.
being from 1,500 to 3,000.
Right,
Which
right.
it still is because it's two separate teams.
It's two separate,
Right.
yes, and so we went back and kind of reworked that, Mr. Mullins, I apologize.
I missed you, Mel. Okay.
Yeah, there's not any reason to divide tennis and golf up. I mean, he hadn't got 30 players running out on the tees.
No, and their
There's no
games,
gang, it's always been small numbers.
Well, I'm going to disagree a little bit with that. I know in other districts, it is divided up. And
It
it is
is.
managing, I witnessed it with my own eyes, managing of the boys and girls tennis all at one time is a lot. And Mr. Burks has been doing this for a long time.
The tennis more so than the golf. The
I was
golf
mainly
is
talking about
not-
golf. That's what I-
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
the
Tennis
golf
is
I would
different.
not so much be as argumentative. The tennis I could definitely,
Tennis is
that's,
different.
especially given, we only have 3 courts here at home that they play on. That's a lot for him to
Yep.
manage. But again, if y'all.
They don't take buses to cross-country tennis or golf, do they?
No, ma'am. Cross-country does
do?
at
Yep.
times. It
Okay.
depends on
I
where
knew
they're
we did when our
traveling.
kids ran. Sometimes
Um,
they did.
If Miss Black can get a bus to leave at the time that they need, they do.
At Swanee?
At
Okay.
Swanee, yes, ma'am.
So, this is a little off topic, but does cross-country have to pay for the bus? Okay.
Don't we have a trap team?
Yes, we do.
Do they have
But
coverage?
it is not TSSAA sanctioned, so it is not included. Just like
So-
the bass fishing team, those two things are not TSSAA sanctioned, and so they are not included on this coach's proposal. The band, I know that's the next question, band is also not TSSAA sanctioned, but again, that is something that a previous board voted to give a supplement to.
Is cheerleading TSSAA sanctioned?
They are now, yes.
Is elementary basketball?
No.
It's going to
No.
be, no, not elementary,
They don't
not
have,
fourth
they
and
don't
fifth.
have an organization guiding it.
Yeah, and the middle school does not yet. They're still in the process of
We will. We're
of
signing
working
up for
on
that.
Yeah.
But that's why the elementary, they lowered it so much.
So, they're not part of it, but we're gonna pay them. But we're not gonna pay Trout because they're not. Am I right?
You're right.
Am I
That,
missing something?
no, that's what it says.
I mean, I'm just asking. I don't even know who teaches or helps Trout or anything. I mean, I'm just thinking of what other
It's
sports
Brad
we
Lance.
have.
Brad Lance is the
Brad
coach.
Lance, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they're giving time for our students and taking time out of their time and we're willing to pay elementary ball,
I mean, I had 48 come out for trap the first year I've presented
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And I was by myself. So
And I will say our trap team does very well competing nationally.
they've done very well.
Well, the fishing team's
And the
doing well,
fishing,
too.
the bass
Fishing
fishing
team's
team
done
as
really
well.
well.
They-
I mean, I think if we're supporting all these sports, I mean, I don't know. That may be not something tonight, but it needs to be looked at, in my opinion.
We also don't have middle school band. Aren't we having band this year?
We are having band this year for middle school. I don't see that on there, but good observation.
I
But
mean,
we're
we're
just,
just
this
talking
is
about
just
everybody
starting.
else.
We're not,
Yeah.
we're just starting that program. We're not.
And
And there
I
may
don't
be, there
know
may
if they
be.
would be like at middle school games or anything yet.
And
Maybe
Principal
not, like-
Hancock is not here, but there may be other requests from the band program later in the year to see, this is what we're going to have, and see what Mr. Guffey has that he can help with, and instrument rentals and that sort of thing. There are some instruments, though, it's not advantageous to rent. You really need, the school really needs to buy them. Tuba is an example that
And he
I
has
know
some
of.
of this stuff.
But Mr. Guffey does have some stuff.
Probably the big items he's got.
So, yeah, the big items, the bass drums, the other things, and Mr. Guffey is,
Mr. Curtis, you mentioned the other night that we owed some supplements right now
No.
from the last school year?
I think we're good. We're good now.
Okay.
We're good on that. That is already, all
everyone's
of,
been paid
all
for
of
it?
those have been paid.
Okay,
Those have all been dispersed. It was waiting until till the May deal. That's when you disperse everybody.
Okay, I just
But
wanna
we've
make
got
sure.
everybody now. We've got everybody now that it goes throughout the school year.
I just want to make sure we
Thank you,
that's
Mr.
squared away.
Tenpenny, on helping us get that accomplished. But now all coaches are paid throughout the school year. We're not doing like previous administrations have done on
That's
one here,
faculty
one there.
coaches.
And I think that was done, and I don't want to go into that tonight,
No,
but
but he said faculty coaches.
Yeah, that's faculty coaches are
faculty
paid,
coaches.
and then I believe everyone else is paid in May.
correct, on the 1090, with the 1099, that they've got the 1099. The non-faculty
Non-faculty.
coaches should be,
Right.
yeah, all of those have been dispersed, and those are all done at that, because it's non-faculty, and you got to do a 1099 in that year.
And Mr. Mullins, I know you weren't there Tuesday night, but I made that comment in my phone call. I'm all for paying any of our coaches and paying them more. It just becomes very hard on my standpoint when I had whatever the amount was. I knew there was not likely to be an increase in supplements this year, so trying to take that came from elementary and redivide on the list I had. If you all feel that we need to pay trap and bass fishing, then we can certainly rework this in any way the board sees fit.
I mean, on Facebook, they've both done very well. I mean, they ought to get the recognition just as well as anybody else does. I mean,
There's a lot of time put into that, both those programs.
I think we need to be looking into it. But now, we may have to vote on that as a board to have that done. But
Yeah, and you can add that to that at another meeting. You can add that. It wouldn't be germane on this one because this is the coach's supplement for this year that you have presented. However, going back to that, you may want to add them as, even though they're not TSSAA sanctioned, they're still
Absolutely.
a sport that's representing County schools.
I just think we need to look into it.
While we're adding stuff for the future board, I would really like the faculty coaches to have their own line in the budget next year instead of it being all in the regular instruction program, because that almost means nothing to me.
That'll be something
Like-
for finance.
Yeah, because it's like, you have $5 million in teacher
That's hard,
pay, and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
I will say, as
something
someone who supplemented, it also gets confusing on your paycheck, on your stub, because you don't always, like, I had an elementary coach who is a faculty person call me and they said, I had this extra money on my paycheck because, like, on a pay stub, it doesn't say this is your coaching supplement.
okay.
It just says other pay. And so they were like, why did I get this money? And I was like, well, I don't know. And
They
I
don't
had to
wanna
reach
spend it.
out to Miss Bacon and we got it clarified, and I don't know from a standpoint of,
I feel like that could
for
just
Miss
be
Bacon
fine.
as to how that has to be listed for her, but
That's easier said than done now. That's fine, that's fine.
Wow.
But I'm like Ms. Gannon on that. I think that would be much more helpful in a budget when you're dealing with, $74,000 instead of, $5 million, that you're looking at salaries there to see that
Because
is
I
made sure it's
know
done.
it's in there, it's just I can't see that it's in there.
And
So
you
just
asked to
next year.
table the live streaming policy, correct?
yes, ma'am, we'd like to table Part B of
If you would, Madam
22.
Chairman, if we could go ahead and do with 22A, meaning to approve the 2022-2023 coaches supplements as presented. If you could get the motion there, then we can go to the live streaming and table that, if you don't mind, Madam Chairman.
I have a question, Madam Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
If we wanted, there's been discussion about, I want to make sure I'm correct on this, discussion about the trap and the bass fishing. We also had some discussion about Mr. Burks, I believe, and Coach Elrod. Can we come back and make those changes to this later on?
I would think it would probably need to be tabled until August workshop, and then y'all can decide.
I mean, I think we could amend it
I was gonna say,
later.
can
I
we
would
amend
rather
it?
Can we
amend
amend
it.
this?
Yeah, you
than
pass
not
this, then
pass
you
it.
amend it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can amend it at the August meeting.
Okay.
That you come back, Mr. Tenpenny can go back and,
Because it might take you more than a month to figure out how you would even.
Right.
Right.
But is that going to cause issues from anybody that's getting?
Yeah, if you don't mind, my clarification that I would want from you, Ms. Thomas, are you asking me to take this 74, this total that's here, and rework it to include those, or that we would come back with additional supplements added for those?
Yep. I believe we would have to find the additional supplements,
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah, that's
Tenpenny.
what-
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well then never mind what I was going to say. I was going to say, if you're going to
And
do
that
this
might
and
not-
say, then you decide later you're going to take Bradley Vickers from 1,550 down to 1,000, he's
No,
going
we
to
would
question
have
what.
to see
Right,
if we can,
right, that's why I said, never mind with what I was going to ask, since you just said that.
thank you for your work on this, Mr.
Thank you
Tenpenny.
all.
Do we have a motion to approve this?
We're approving this one.
Yes,
Did you make a motion?
and it can be amended. Well, I don't know how you want to word that, or how it would be.
well, you
worded.
could
I
be,
mean, we
you
can
could
just
just put it on the
amend it
next,
anytime.
put it on the next agenda, make sure it's on the August agenda, and this
Put
is
possible amendment.
amendments to the approved 2022-2023 coaches supplements, what I'd recommend.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. Mullins, seconded by Ms. Thomas to approve the 2022-2023 coaches supplement as presented and and place this again on the agenda for the August meeting. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
22B was the Cannon County High School Athletics live stream policy, and Coach, Mr. Tenpenny has asked that we table that.
I'll make a motion, or second, to see you making one. You made one, right, Derek? I heard something coming from that
Do we need to
direction.
know when we're tabling it to?
Well, I would table this, table this item until the August 11th, 2022 meeting of the board, or you could,
It would have to be August.
it'd have to be
We'd
in August.
really like to
for-
get it done in
because
August
live
before the
streaming will
first
be
football
starting in
game.
August. I mean,
Okay.
it will-
I'll make that motion to table the athletics live streaming policy till the August meeting.
When's the first
Are we
football game?
meeting?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say,
It's
sorry.
August the 19th, I believe, is
Okay.
our first. It's on my phone calendar, but I've left it in the seat back there. But I
Yeah,
believe it's
we're-
August the
The 11th, I think
19th.
is
is
the
our
We
first
scheduled a
home
meeting
game.
with all the
We
principals.
we've been in touch, Mr. Nichols and I have been in touch with the media, and we're going to get together with our local media because we'd like to kind of, we don't have a date
Okay,
set, but
that's
we're
what I said.
working
You don't
on
have a date
finding
set
it.
yet. Okay.
But, and we'd also love for any of the board that
obviously-
would like to sit in with that as well, and I'll make you all aware of when we have that.
And I would just like to have it looked into on the other two, or if there's anything else. Am I missing any other sports that we?
As of right now, the only sports that have been live streamed have been football and basketball.
He's talking about the-
Oh, on the,
Oh, we're done
on
with
the
the other
supplement,
part.
yeah.
No, but I just want.
But yes, I will definitely,
Just work on it, I mean.
yes, sir.
Do I have a second for this motion?
Second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Duggan, or Chairman Duggan, seconded by Ms. Gannon, to table this item until the August 11th, 2022 meeting of the Cannon County Board of Education. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins. Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you
guess
all.
the next one's yours too.
I guess I'll stay up here.
Number 23 is to approve the athletic handbook. Mr. Curtis, Mr. Tenpenny.
Okay, what were you looking at on the Cannon County Schools Athletic Handbook is basically with the administrative edits, the grading policy that when you start looking at policy here in a moment will be, if you approve that, then, which is now state law, but you can do whatever you want to do there, but then that would affect the handbook. I don't think there was anything else besides grading, was there?
Just
Mr. McMackins,
some
or-
wording things
Yeah,
that
just-
need clarification.
yeah, maybe we
I
can-
need to have an English teacher go through it, really, is what we need to make sure all
Read it over.
our wording is good there. But yeah, I mean, as we mentioned, the handbook has been approved. You all have approved it. We just need to approve some edits
I just say the
to it.
motion to approve the athletic handbook with administrative edits as necessary.
Okay.
Can we, have a sit down and hash all that out one day?
Absolutely.
And then
I would suggest
Put this
doing
horse
that
to rest.
sooner than later because of schools.
Yeah,
We got 3 weeks going on, guys. and-
next week, maybe we can get together.
Do I have a motion for that?
Make a motion to move forward with the administrative edits to the athletic handbook.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Thomas, seconded by Ms. Gannon to approve the Cannon County Schools Athletic Handbook with administrative edits as necessary. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins. Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. Number 20. Number 24, Cannon County High School Principal Courtney Nichols addressed the board Tuesday night about renewing his copier contract with the state. Cannon has requested that they swap the copier from Eastside Elementary to the high school. Do you have anything else than what you already gave us? Okay.
Man, you're so cordial tonight.
So the motion would be to let Mr. Nichols renew his contract and move the east side copier to the high school, and then they're gonna pick up an old one? Are they picking up
It'll
anything?
pick up the copiers that are at the high school.
And replace them with the one from east side?
Correct.
Okay. that correct, Mr. Curtis?
Yeah, I've got to approve the Cannon County High School transferring copier from former Eastside Elementary School to Cannon County High School and entering into a lease with Cannon via the state contract. Is that correct, Mr. Nichols?
That is correct.
I make that motion.
Second.
Do we need to wait till Carly comes back, or can we call the roll?
You can call the roll.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
I'm sorry, motion made by Ms. Duggan, Chairman Duggan, seconded by Mr. Mullins, to approve Cannon County High School transferring copier from the former Eastside Elementary School to Cannon County High School and entering into a lease with Cannon via the state contract. Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins? Ms. Gannon? Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Thank you. Madam Chairman, as a point of reference, yes, you can do that unless you did lack a quorum. If
Okay.
you had others out, then I would suggest doing a brief recess.
Thank you. Number 25, Cannon North Elementary Principal Karen King addressed the board Tuesday night asking permission to enter in a copier lease, and she asked us how long, and we told her just to go, if she's going to do it, just go ahead and do the 3 years, since
That's
it can be
correct.
canceled if
Yep,
her school
right.
wants to.
And this was a Canon, it was, right,
Yes, yes, because she was switching.
right. I make
Yes.
I make a motion to give her permission to enter that lease.
I second. Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Thomas, seconded by Chairman Duggan, to approve the Cannon North Elementary School copier contract with Cannon via the state contract for 3 years. Mr. McMackins?
Aye.
Mr. Mullins? Ms. Gannon?
Aye.
Ms. Thomas?
Aye.
Chairman Duggan?
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. 26, elementary principals Karen King, Angela Cossey, and Emily Hancock addressed the board Tuesday night concerning the possibility of 4th and 5th grade basketball teams for our newly created schools, and they wanted to add cheerleading.
Madam Chairman, I believe that you all received a text from Ms. King, who could not be here tonight. So she was just saying they would love to start this program and do whatever needed to make it successful. And the season would be very, very short. And y'all saw the proposal that she shared with the board at the workshop on Tuesday.
I'll make a motion that we approve this with cheerleaders.
I'll second that.
What, can I discuss that for a second?
Yeah.
Yep.
Motion.
What was your thoughts, Wade?
On
4th, 5th
having
grade
this?
basketball and cheerleading.
Yeah, I have no problem with it all, because I think we need to offer something to them. I do. I was a little wishy-washy at first, because like I voiced, I don't like these little gyms, but these are younger kids. But the problem also in the little gyms is the crowd. You got to really like somebody's knees in your back for 2 games. So that part I thought could be relieved if we played all the games here, but I know they want to keep their identity. So, and I'm for the kids doing the basketball. And I hope it's organized to the point on that level that they don't get too competitive with it with 8 games and they're teaching the fundamentals. That's what I like to see implemented. Last year it was kind of chaotic. It was pretty chaotic. It wasn't entertaining to watch. I think it would be if it was organized a little bit better. I think it needs to be. The coaches need to be all on the same page, and the principals.
One thing I think we're comparing to, 6th, 7th, 8th grade in one gym with how that's been for the past 50 years. Now with 4th and 5th, I think you're going to see a much, much smaller crowd in 4th and 5th, and I'm speaking as a principal, but now Courtney says no. I think it's going to be smaller, but I don't know that. I don't know that.
It's Cannon County and it's basketball.
I know, but I think you're going to see a little bit smaller then. I'll put it that way.
Cannon.
What does the athletic director say?
Mr. Curtis, did they have a motion? Because they did ask Tuesday night if they did not have enough 4th and 5th graders, could they bring up from 3rd grade?
Yes, they put that in the proposal.
Okay, I just want to make sure
So
that
they
was
could
worded.
bring that.
Did we have a motion made?
Motion made by Ms. Gannon, seconded by Ms. Thomas, and you had your discussion.
Okay, anything else there?
I don't know, I'm like Wade on the gyms.
I am. I'm sick of the gyms.
I thought we was getting away from the little gyms.
when are they wanting to play?
Early on,
About 8 games there.
we're talking about 8 games, and that is in September,
See, and that's,
before any other.
but won't that coincide with junior Lions football?
Yes.
Has anybody looked at that?
Yes, it will.
Because you're gonna have a lot of 4th and 5th graders playing football that
But
ain't gonna.
they'll have to play, they'll have to play 2 sports,
Or choose which one.
or choose which
Yeah, but
one.
is that fair to the kids
Uh,
that really wants to play, when normally grammar school basketball don't play till,
Well, what I'm saying is, the junior Lions will play on Saturdays,
but you'll have practice during the week?
but they'll have practice. But
Coach
Karen was
said
talking about they
work
wasn't gonna have that many practices, so maybe they all can work together and work that out.
And if there's not enough kids, like I said earlier, they can all play together. They don't have to be separate.
Yeah, we could just have 8th, 4th,
Yeah.
and 5th grade team.
They don't all have to play together if there's not enough. I think probably Cannon Elementary may have the least, I don't know. Maybe even,
And that's who brought that up, on
Yeah,
bringing the 3rd
that's what
graders
she
up
said.
if they needed to.
Yeah.
so,
So we have a motion and a second.
I mean, we try it a year, you know. And then see.
Derek? Okay. Please call the roll, Mr. Curtis.
Motion made by Ms. Gannon, seconded by Ms. Thomas to approve the proposal for 4th, 5th grade basketball. Mr. McMahon, and I'm gonna put for the 2022, 2023 school year. Is
And
that okay?
cheerleading.
And cheerleading. I don't want to forget cheerleaders. Please, no cards or letters.
They're gonna keep the expense down, they said, too.
Yeah, they're gonna do like.
They're not
shirts
gonna
and
go all
t-shirts
out
for
on
cheerleaders
jerseys and all that
junior pro
stuff.
outfits for the
And,
ball players.
Why don't they just play junior pro?
That was my question,
What is the difference in this and junior pro?
because it didn't play in their school. That's,
And she had a schedule of like surrounding counties that had schools.
Are we going to surrounding counties?
Yes. What'd she had, say Dibble, Deerfield,
DeKalb
Kittrell,
West.
not DeKalb West.
Wasn't DeKalb?
It was,
Yeah.
I wanted to reach out to somebody.
Yeah,
in-
Bobby Ray Elementary, DeKalb West, Kittrell, and Coffee County.
They all have 4th and 5th grade teams.
so,
They just want you to run some more.
I'm gonna, go ahead. I don't say nothing.
Call the roll, Mr. Curtis.
Mr. McMackins,
aye.
Mr. Mullins,
I'm gonna say aye, but I don't agree that it's with football. And I'm just gonna tell you why.
Because your boys can
Because
to
you
choose.
have, you're now gonna have football, baseball, and basketball going on at the same time. And that is gonna hurt this county
Yep.
more than it's gonna help. I'm
She
gonna
may
say
not have
aye,
enough
but I
interest to
don't,
do it.
I don't agree with the timing of it, it's my only
Okay,
deal.
timing.
And you can stress that to her.
I will.
When would be a good time? I mean, I'm just saying, through the course of the year,
When do the other teams?
Mr. Tenpenny,
I don't have any principals here right now.
I know you're,
That would be
I know you're not
discussion.
involved
The
in
athletic director is the
elementary.
only person I have, except I have Mr. Nichols here
This
at high
is the
school,
principal's
but
deal.
this is irrelevant to Cannon County High School, I believe. Mr. Tenpenny, right in the middle of the vote too, Madam Chairman.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
I understand your concerns, Mr. Mullins. I mean, the issue is you're either gonna have to play it on top of the other basketball season. You can't move it to the spring or you're gonna run into baseball. We know how that.
But when does the other counties play?
Ms. King knew all that, and she's not here.
School will be starting in late October now, because their plan is to play a full schedule, run from October through late January, early February.
I'll bring the principals in for clarification at the next workshop, and we can clarify.
Mr. Curtis, me and Angela Cossey and I are on.
Oh, okay, we got principals on, I couldn't see, so I apologize. Go ahead, who's on, principals?
This is Emily.
Okay, Emily, Principal Hancock, go ahead with your comments.
Well, I would just be very cautious with our building, and that's why I had said in the beginning about using it for middle school. Our gym is gonna be used so much for middle school season. They're already practicing and it's already full, so it's gonna be hard for us to squeeze this in as we go. with junior pro practicing too, because it really down 2 gyms with closing the other schools too, or 3. So it's a lot to juggle as far as when we can fit it in. I think that's why the first part of the year came up.
Hey, and this is Angela Fossey. Hey, the other surrounding counties, most of them play on the normal basketball schedule, like October, November through January. So we would be playing much earlier than their season.
So how would we play them? How would we
It
play
would
them?
be probably like a preseason game for them, much like how we were with our Border Wars tournament. And it was like a preseason game for us usually.
Can't understand her.
Can you repeat that, Angela? You broke up. Can you repeat that?
Yes, sorry. I would say they would be playing us like as a preseason game, just like kind of a scrimmage type game for them. Could you hear me?
Yeah, we got it that time. Thank you.
Okay.
I say,
So
Okay,
that-
Mr. Mullins votes aye. Did I continue
age-
to roll?
Yes, continue.
Okay. Well,
That
Mr.
age group there, I can't remember, is that flag? Are they up into junior?
No, they're junior.
Is that junior? That's
There's
not the
no
senior, that's the
flag.
juniors.
No, it's junior.
So,
But hey, we'll go ahead.
Hey, principals, please note that about the football, just like what we've had deals in the past in regarding football practices with the junior Lions. It seems a similar situation here with this. So principals, please take note of that. Principal Hancock, did you get that? And Principal Cossey?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir, I did. I just, and Mr. McAkins may know better about when they practice and things like that too.
Okay.
The junior Lions
Yes,
also,
we will just need to make sure to get those know when those practices are so that they don't overlap.
Right.
the junior Lions also do have cheerleaders. So that's another
Oh,
thing.
yes, oh, yes.
That's gonna take your cheerleaders for basketball.
Well, we can, if they approve it, I mean, it doesn't mean it's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean, we
happen,
can-
it's
yeah,
approved.
It's approved.
If they
I mean,
try to
can
do it.
try
Try and
It's
see.
a big fundraiser too, that's the reason, like, it's one of their biggest fundraisers.
What is?
Basketball.
Basketball
Well,
games.
it's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna go and tell you.
Well, like I said.
I hate to be
They may
that
not have
bearer,
anybody that
guys.
tries out, but
If you're gonna play in September, you're not gonna make no money at basketball. In my honest opinion, with as many as we have on the football teams this year, I just don't see it. I may be wrong. I hope I am.
Okay, go on.
Okay, Ms. Gannon.
aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. 26 TSBA policy recommendations. Mr. Curtis, we don't need to read all those, we've all looked at them.
Good evening. You can see the policy numbers. I think you have looked at them. Mr. McMackins had a discussion earlier today in regarding a couple of those. Ms. Patterson and I and our staff have looked at these, particularly on the vaping policies. And you've read those policies. These are adopted. All of these have been approved by TSBA, and all of these have been looked at by the attorney for TSBA, Ms. Jennifer White. So this is the recommendations to do that. I would say to approve these policies as recommended by TSBA is what I'd recommend, Madam Chairman.
I make a motion to approve these policies recommended by TSBA.
Second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Duggan, seconded by Mr. Mullins to approve the listed Cannon County Board of Education policies as recommended by TSBA 1.102, 1.803, 2.806, 3.202, 4.101, 4.210, 4.212, 4.402, 4.403, 4.406, 4.600, 5.119, 5.200, 5.701, 5.201, 6.200, 6.204, 6.309, 6.316, 6.318, 6.409, 1.104, 1.105, and 1.204. Mr. McMackins.
aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays. The director would like to be an auctioneer after he retires.
Number 28, approve general purpose budget FY '23 to send to Cannon County Budget Committee and Cannon County Commission. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mullins.
Send it for.
Do we have a second?
Are we sending it for the
Hang
third
on a
time?
second.
Okay, Mr. Mullins has made the motion, and Ms. Gannon would like to discuss. If anybody'd like to do a second, we'll go to
Sure.
discussion.
Mr. Curtis had something.
I do have something, and it's something that I've looked at, and I've been in meetings, we've been in meetings this past week. TISA, one of the things that I found out in my meeting on Wednesday is TISA is going to be using this next year as a baseline. Now, what does that mean? We're going to have our data very, very accurate, incredibly accurate. And that accurate data, I may have to do some other personnel to help in getting that data and going over this data constantly. I mean, every time. But what I'd like to do is to, if you would look at the transportation line item number 72710, 105 supervisor director. That's 7.7271.
Okay,
Please look at that line item. Do you see that line item?
yes.
I'd like to see that up to $20,000.
Well, we don't have a finance department here, so,
Well, we just take it and they'll adjust it.
Before they send it over?
They'll adjust it before we send it over, because we'll take it in the morning. Teresa and I will take it up there in the morning and say, this is what the board did. And then they'll just take it from another. But I'd like to see that increased. Ms. Black works incredibly hard, and she does 3 jobs, and I would like to look at, it won't affect the budget whatsoever, but I'd like to look at separating the ESP director part of that, and then increasing what she gets out of transportation to increase her salary. And then later I will come back to you and say, let's look at data. When I find a little bit more, when I find about data, we may have to hire another person to assist us in keeping our data straight and keeping that, and that is a tedious task, yes. But as we enter into 22-23, it will cost us money. Just as you hired a facilities coordinator, just as you did that, that will save us money. The same thing with a data person checking our numbers, constantly checking our numbers. And this, if you remember, TISA is going to be judged upon once a month. It's going to be when your finances will be, when your money will be pulled. And it has to be accurate, it has to be right, and that's just more than attendance. Attendance is just one factor. There are, Ms. Black, how many factors in Skyward that you deal with, variables that you have to deal with? Scheduling has to be right.
Scheduling has to be right, bill codes have to be right, calendar has to be correct. There's the whole one side of Skyward that the attendance clerks and the teachers work in. There's a whole back side that I work in. It's totally different from what they see and do. It's troubleshooting EIS problems. It's, now that we built the 3 new schools, I'm having to rebuild, or the 4 new schools, I'm having to rebuild all that, set it up so that they can put those kids in there and do that. So it's a huge undertaking.
And so, and attendance, Ms. Patterson is here, but attendance there are multiple facets of attendance there that need to be done. And I'm just saying, if we put that there, we know that goes to this particular thing in salary, and it's done. And then I reserve that we could come back and have to amend. We're going to do a budget amendments anyway, and y'all know that as well as I do. But it's come back and I say, okay, if we have to do somebody else to assist in getting this right, I want to get it right in 22-23, because in FY24, we're going to be under the gun. And baseline, the base of this year is your funding is going to be based on the previous year. Y'all understand that?
Mr. Curtis, on the transportation, I'm just curious, because I thought this was actually what she made. The other salaries and wages, what is that?
$49,500.
Because I thought that was yours. That's,
For, like, trips, okay, so
Mr. Curtis?
Douglas, are you on, sir?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
That-
I'm assuming, Mr. Chairman, can we recognize Mr. Douglas Jennings?
go ahead.
the 189 line item is where the trips are paid from, like, football teams and field trips and all that kind of thing. The regular 146 bus drivers is just for the regular bus drivers' daily routes that they take.
That's just additional things they do, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's fine. It's just the way it's worded.
Yeah,
You
why is
would
it
think
worded
it was her
salaries and
salary.
wages? I mean, what-
Yeah, it's just the way it's worded, though. That was why.
Other wages is probably would be better. Douglas, can you change that on there, other wages?
Well, what we use the county chart of accounts provided by the state, and that's the name they have for
Okay,
that.
that's fine, but when I looked at it, I thought that was her wages.
She wishes it was.
Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, so what kind of motion does this need?
It'd just be just to make the correction there and then make a addition there at 105 as 20. And then that would increase her, I think, to where she needs.
Mr. Mullins has already made a motion to approve this budget, so do we need to take that back
Yeah, if he could withdraw that.
and change that line?
You're gonna have to change some other lines, retirement, social security, just realize that.
How much is it?
All right, Douglas, can you do that in the morning and get that?
Yes,
And that's only, what lines would that be?
204 and 207?
well, it would be 201,
and
204, and 212.
Okay, so
Okay.
if you give me the opportunity to edit that, and then I will send that to you first thing in the morning, but you're knowing that you're changing that, you're going ahead and approve, you're changing those items.
Okay.
201, and then what did you say, Douglas? Make sure I'm not marking that down in the motion. 201,
201, 204, and 212.
okay, and 212. All right,
I don't have any changes. But, I would like to say, so we have spent a lot of money in our capital outlay tonight, and we still have one more purchase to make next month with the rest of the floors. So after this, we really need to ease up on that capital outlay from this point on until like the end of the year,
Yeah.
just so we know.
So the only last big purchase would be the rest of the restroom floors, correct?
Yeah, like next month.
That
But I'm
is-
just saying that, like, whenever people come, we may have to be like, you need to wait till the end of the year.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
Well,
say a word
really
about what
July.
you said, because in my understanding, what you're saying is that you're thinking, you're kind of hinting towards another data person?
possibly if we need that. Well, I think, and I'm talking a clerk type of individual is what I'm talking about, if we need it. Now, I'll come back to the board in regarding that. Let's see how this runs and see, but we got to have that data correct, and I need eyes on that to make sure that's correct. And it is tedious. That kind of work is very, very tedious.
Is that, I know that Ms. Alexander's doing ESSER, but does she do data too? I don't know. Okay, okay.
But we'll come back to the board if I need that. And let's see how the budget goes, because if we're moving along okay, then I may say that. Let's see how this goes, but other systems around us, not just around us, in the Upper Cumberland, other systems are employing sole departments and other people just to do this.
Mr. Curtis, they also have a whole lot of money
I
than we
understand,
do.
I understand that.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Ms. Doug.
I understand that.
Yeah, they also have a lot more money than we do.
And let's see, we'll see how it goes and see what transpires here to get this thing right and get it done right.
Okay. Derek, do you want to remake your motion?
Yeah, I'll make it to however it needs to say.
Okay, and I'll say as amended is what I'll approve, to approve the FY '23 general purpose school budget as
With that change?
as presented with the change. How's that? Is that okay, Derek, Ms. Rollins?
Does it need to be any more specific with the change, or is that good enough
I'm gonna say presented with changes
in the transportation?
to, let me look.
I think it's line 105.
Yeah, let me go back and look at that. I've been closed it there. Changes to 72710, transportation. How's that? And I will say lines,
You know, any lines that it affects.
lines
Well,
105, 201, 204, and 207. Is that right, Douglas? Or 201?
No, 212.
Okay, I'm sorry, 212 instead of 207, 212.
207's insurance.
Yeah, got it. 212. All right, got it.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. Mullins, seconded by Ms. Gannon to approve FY '23 general purpose school budget as presented with changes to 72710 transportation, lines 105, 201, 204, 212. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Aye.
Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. Number 29, approve IDEA ESEA budget, including all future amendments and addendum. Mr. Curtis?
Madam Chairman, this is what we do every year during budget time to approve the IDEA and the ESEA budgets. And all you do is you approve that, and add the addenda is what you really need to do there as part of the motion.
Can you explain what those budgets are?
What those
for the people
budgets
that don't
are
know?
is special education budgets and part of the title program.
Okay.
And those are these budgets that are federal budgets that are done with this is done with federal funds. IDEA and ESEA are literally federal budgets.
Thank you.
That we don't mess with. You know, you approve them and you go.
I just thought somebody may be listening and not know what that meant.
Yes, ma'am, glad to do
I'll
that.
make a motion to approve those budgets.
I'll second that.
Mr. Curtis, please call the roll.
Motion made by Ms. Duggan, seconded by Ms. Thomas to approve the IDEA / ESEA FY '23 budget to, including all future amendments and addenda. Mr. McMackins.
Aye.
Mr. Mullins.
Here, sorry.
Ms. Gannon.
Aye.
Ms. Thomas.
Aye.
Chairman Duggan.
Aye.
Madam Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Okay. Number 30, modernization and restructuring update. We got that at the workshop.
We did, Madam Chairman. We're moving along. Ms. Sizzle has left, but we have been, our crews have been working, schools crews have been working, custodians are working, people are working. So if anybody says we're not working in July, tell them to check their stuff. Tell them to come by those schools and see what's happening right now, because we are major going on at every location in Cannon North, Cannon South, Cannon Elementary, Cannon Middle, and the high school too. Mr. Nichols, they've been doing a lot of work at the high school, as well as all schools right now are functioning full board.
Okay, is that your comments as well?
That's my comments as well, Madam Chairman.
Okay, 32 is the chairman's comments. I will not be here the August meeting, so I just want to thank you guys for letting me be your board chairman for the school year of 21-22. And I'll be back in September, hopefully. And that's all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.